Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram. Hare Krishna. So we're reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lila, chapter 4, Sanātana. So maybe this is Lord and Jagannātha. Hare Krishna, Manijan. My voice is okay?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. No, Mataji. It's hollow. It's hollow type.
It's low?
Low. Yes, Mataji.
Is it better now?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so Sanātana Gosvāmī visiting the Lord at Jagannath Puri. Let's start. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swaminidharami Namaste Sarasadeve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Rishitarin Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Vasadi Gaurabhaktaran Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna. Ananda Lila Maya Vigrahaya Hema Pridivya Chavisundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Shri Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Shri Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Shri Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. When Sanātana Gosvāmī returned from Vrindavana, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu affectionately saved him from his determination to commit suicide. And after testing him, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu purified his body. Why did Sanātana Gosvāmī try to commit suicide? Anyone remembers?
Hare Krishna Mataji, because of the skin disease while he traveled to the Jarikanda forest.
No, Jarikanda is where Mahaprabhu forest, yes. And because he drank all this pond water and everything, he had skin disease. And how did he try to commit suicide, or what was his plan?
Hare Krishna Mataji, he
Jump
wanted
from
to fall under the Ratha cart wheel of Lord Jagannath.
Right, so he thought, I'll jump in front of the Ratha in Jagannath Puri. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu already knew this, and Mahaprabhu is like, you're trying to destroy my property. Your body is my property. You should not do this. And he embraced him, and the disease was cured. Okay, so then the Lord purified. This was also testing. Lord was testing him. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Sri Rupa Gosvāmī returned from Jagannath Puri to Bengal, Sanātana Gosvāmī went from Mathura to Jagannath Puri to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sanātana Gosvāmī walked alone on the path through the Jharkhand forest in the central India. Okay. Vilas Prabhu, so yes, he had gone through Jharkhand forest. Actually, I thought it's Mahaprabhu who went. Thanks for that. Okay, so he also walked through Jharkhand forest, and sometimes he fasted, sometimes he would eat. Because of bad water in the Jharkhand forest and because of fasting, Sanātana Gosvāmī contracted a disease that made the body itch. Okay, so how many days did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instruct Rupa Gosvāmī? For how many days? Put in the chat. How many days did he give instruction to Rupa Gosvāmī? And he wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu on Nectar of Devotion. How many days? 10 days. Very good. How many days did the Lord instruct Sanātana Gosvāmī? Shampita Madaji got it right. No. Others are wrong. No. Yeah, 2 months or 60 days, 2 months. Okay. The 2 months he instructed Sanātana Gosvāmī. So, okay. So he had a disease, and thus he was afflicted with itching sores from which fluid oozed. In disappointment, Sanātana Gosvāmī considered, I'm a low caste and my body is useless for devotional service. When I go to Jagannath Puri, so this is what he thought, I shall not be able to see Lord Jagannath, nor shall I always be able to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I have heard that the residential quarters of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are near the temple of Jagannath, but I shall not have the power to go near the temple. The servants of Lord Jagannath generally move about tending to their duties, but if they touch me, I shall be an offender. See, if the pujaris have to go to the temple and to do puja, they have to take a bath, and then they should not touch anyone, or they should not get contaminated. So immediately they have to go to the temple and then do the service. So when Sanatana Goswami had this skin disease, if he goes near the temple away, he would touch them because of so much crowd and everything, and that's an offense from his side. So he used to take the beach path to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The servants of Lord Jagannath generally move there. Yeah, if they touch me, I shall be an offender. Therefore, if I sacrifice this body in a good place, my unhappiness will be mitigated and I shall attain an exalted destination. So this is what he thought. During the Radha festival, Lord Jagannath comes out of the temple. I shall give up this body under the wheel of his car. This is what he thought. Okay, I'll just commit suicide in Radha Why? In Jagannath Puri. So that it's glorious there. So I can go back to Godhead. But he is a Manjari. But he is just showing that example that suicide is not the solution for anything. Actually, we are committing Atmahanta, in the sense suicide of the soul, because we are not doing devotional service. After seeing Lord Jagannath, I shall give up my body under the wheel of a car in the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This will be the highest benediction of my life. So he thought, like Haridas Thakur also asked this benediction. Haridas Thakur knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was soon going to end up his pastime. So he fell at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet and said, please let me leave my body before you go. I can't live without you. And then seeing Lord Chaitanya's beautiful face, and by chanting Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Haridas Thakur left. And you know that last pastime where Lord personally gave a bath to Haridas Thakur and did his samadhi. So having made this resolution, Sanatana Goswami went to Nilachala when he asked directions from people and approached the residence of Haridas Thakur. He offered his respects to the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur, who knew him and thus embraced him. Sanatana Goswami was very eager to see the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, Haridas Thakur said, the Lord is coming here very soon. See, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Haridas Thakur, they were not allowed to enter into Jagannath temple, but that is to see Jagannath. But Lord Jagannath himself, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is coming out into their house to give darshan. This is how, some Matajis were very sad that they were not able to go to Vrindavan, Mayapur. You don't have to go anywhere. Sit at your house. The Lord will come there, seeing the sincerity of your devotion. No, that's important. Work in such a way that the Lord tries to see you. Don't try to see God. Work in such a way, or do your devotional service in such a way that God tries to see you. If the boss wants to see an employee who is in a low-class employee, he can arrange for a high-class VIP visit. But if the employee wants to see the boss, it takes a lot of time, right? So that's the speciality. So Bhaktivedanta Saraswati says, we should not try to see Krishna, Krishna should see us. So here is an example where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally comes and to see Haridas Thakur, Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami. At that very moment, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after visiting the temple of Jagannath to see the offering of Upala Bhoga, that is morning refreshment, came with his other devotees to see Haridas Thakur. Seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both Haridas Thakur and Sanatana Goswami immediately fell flat like rods. That's called dandavats, to offer obeisances. The Lord then lifted Haridas and embraced him. Haridas Thakur said to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, here is Sanatana Goswami offering his obeisance. Seeing Sanatana Goswami, the Lord was greatly surprised. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came forward to embrace him, Sanatana backed away and spoke as follows, because he had this skin disease, right? My Lord, please do not touch me. I fall at your lotus feet. I'm the lowest of men, having been born of a low caste. Besides that, I have infection on my body. Actually, he is born as a Brahmana, Sanatana Goswami, because he was the minister of the Nawab Hussain Shah. He was a converted Muslim, so that's why he's saying this. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, however, embraced Sanatana Goswami by force. Thus, the moisture oozing from the itching sores touched the transcendental body of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu says it purifies me. The Lord introduced all the devotees to Sanatana Goswami, who offered his respectful obeisances under the lotus feet of them all. The Lord and his devotees sat on a raised platform, and below that sat Haridas Thakur and Sanatana Goswami. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from Sanatana about the news of his well-being. Sanatana replied, everything is auspicious, because I have seen your lotus feet. This is what is important. So he is a already liberated soul, a Muktatma. Jivan Mukta Sauchyati is already liberated. So for him, seeing the Lord, external, the bodily thing is nothing. Yeah, but he got the darshan of the Lord. That was the best thing. When the Lord asked about all the Vaishnavas at Mathura, Sanatana Goswami informed him of their good health and fortune. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami was here for 10 months. He left for Bengal just 10 days ago. Your brother Anupam is now dead. He was very good devotee who had firm conviction in Raghunatha, Lord Ramchandra. So Anupam was the devotee of Lord Ramchandra. Sanatana Goswami said, I was born in a low family, for my family commits all kind of irreligious acts that violate the scriptural injunctions. My Lord, without hatred for my family, you have accepted me as your servant. Only by your mercy is there good fortune in my family. From the very beginning of his childhood, my younger brother Anupam was a great devotee of Raghunatha, that is Lord Ramchandra, and he worshipped him with great determination. He always chanted the holy name of Raghunatha and meditated upon him. He continuously heard about the activities of the Lord from Ramayana and chanted about them. Rupa and I are his elder brothers. He stayed with us continuously. He heard Srimad Bhagavatam and talks about Lord Krishna with us, and both of us examined him. Dear Vallabha is Anupam, both are same. We said, please hear from us. Lord Krishna is supremely attractive. His beauty, sweetness, and pastimes of love are without limit. So this is what Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami tried to convince Anupam that you have to chant Krishna's holy name. Engage yourself in the devotion service to Krishna with two of us. We three brothers shall stay together and enjoy discussing the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Who's the son of Anupam or Vallabha? Put in the chat who was his son. So they are telling, don't worship Lord Ram. Yes, worship Krishna. This is what they said. Because Keshavadrida Rama Sharira, right? Keshava is Krishna and Krishna's expansion avatar is Jiva Goswami. Okay, Jiva Goswami. Good. In this way, we spoke to him again and again, and because of his persuasion and his respect for us, his mind turned somewhat towards our instruction. Vallabha replied, my dear brothers, how can I disobey your orders? Initiate me into Krishna mantra so that I may perform devotional service to Lord Krishna. So he said, okay, I'll chant Krishna's holy name, give me the mantra, and I will start chanting. After seeing this at night, he began to think, how shall I give up the lotus feet of Lord Raghunatha? I am worshipping Lord Ram. How can I give him up? I have to worship Krishna now. Now what to do? He stayed up all night and cried. In the morning, he came to us and submitted the following plea. I have sold my head at the lotus feet of Lord Ramchandra. I cannot take it away. That would be too painful for me. The two of you, please be merciful to me and order me in such a way that life after life, I may serve the lotus feet of Lord Raghunatha. Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, one and the same, right? Doesn't matter which form he has. Hanuman had Lord Ram in his heart. Arjuna had Krishna Parthasarathi form. The Sakhas and Gopas and Gopis have the Shyam Sundar form. These are all different form. Prahlad has Narasimha Rupa in his heart. So different form of the Lord himself, right? But they were just trying to trick Anupam, and Anupam's faith was so strong. He's like, no, I want to serve Lord Ram. It is impossible for me to give up the lotus feet of Lord Raghunatha. When I even think of giving them up, my heart breaks. Upon hearing this, we each embraced him and encouraged him by saying, you are a great saintly devotee, for your determination in devotional service is fixed. In this way, we praised him. So what is the stage called? The determination in devotional service become fixed. What is it called?
Samadhi.
Nishtha.
Nishtha stage.
Nishtha stage. Okay, Nishtha. Ado Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha. Okay, Nishtha. So this become fixed. Your devotional service become fixed. Someone comes and says, don't chant Hare Krishna. Will you just give up? No, you should become fixed. That's Nishtha. Good. My dear Lord, my family upon which you bestow even a little mercy is always fortunate, for such mercy makes all miseries disappear. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said there was a similar incident concerning Murari Gupta. Who was Murari Gupta in previous life? I mean, whose incarnation is Murari Gupta?
Hanuman.
Yeah, Lord Hanuman, right? So he is also Lord Ramchandra's devotee, Murari Gupta. Those who came to Mayapur with us, remember we went to Murari Gupta's house. We went with great Harinam, and there is a pond in which Murari Gupta, he was a physician. He was curing both the body and soul. And from that pond, he gave the water and all the disease went away. So Murari Gupta, again, he is Hanuman. So let's see what happened to him, Murari Gupta. Formerly, I examined him and his determination was similar. So the determination, Ulsaha, Nishyad, Dhairya, Tattat Karma Pravartanat, Sangatyagat Sadovritti, Shadvid Bhakti Prasiddhyati. Nectar of Instruction says, think verse 2, say 3. Verse 3 says that we should have enthusiasm, confidence, and determination also is required. Right? It should be Eke Kurunande. My determined. I have to chant my rounds. I have to read scriptures. I have to do my sadhana well. Whatever happens, I'll never compromise on my sadhana. That should be your determination. Otherwise, it's very fluctuating. Maya can act anytime. You should be determined to serve Krishna. Otherwise, you're serving Maya. Glorious is that devotee who does not give up the shelter of his Lord, and glorious is that Lord who does not abandon his servant. Sei bhakta danya yena chade prabhura charana. Sei prabhu danya yena chade nija jana. Okay, so that Lord is also glorious, devotee is also glorious, because devotee will never give up the shelter of the Lord, and Lord does not abandon his devotee. What is Krishna's another name? Because he doesn't fail to reciprocate to his devotees. Or Krishna, this is given in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2. 1.
Achyuta.
Achyuta. Very good. Yes. So Achyuta, in that purport, Srila Prabhupada says, Senayorubayor madhye radam sthape me Achyuta. One reason why Krishna is called Achyuta is doesn't fall from the position of being the supreme personality of Godhead, even though he became the chariot driver of Arjuna. That's one thing. Second thing is, Krishna never failed to reciprocate or protect his devotees. He doesn't abandon. Name bhakta pranashyati. Right? He says, Kaunteya pradijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotees will never perish. Because Krishna doesn't abandon his devotees or servants. If by chance a servant falls down and somehow goes somewhere else, glorious is that master who captures him and bring him back by the hair. If someone falls down, Krishna brings them back. Shipram bhavadi dharmatma shashwat chandini gachati. Kaundeya pradijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Soon they will come back to the original stage. But even if we fall down, they should not be considered fallen. Like the example of Prabhupada gives as analogy is the moon. The moon have a lot of spots, but does that hinders the moon from giving its light? No, the moonlight is still very glorious, or it just illuminates, right? The full moon and all. So the spots have nothing to do with the light of the moon, right? Similarly, Durdeva sevakayati yaya anyastane sei thakura dhanya tare chule dhari ane. It is very good that you have arrived here. Now stay in this room with Haridas Thakur. Both of you are expert in understanding the mellows of Lord Krishna's devotional service. Therefore, you should both continue relishing the taste for such activities and chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Having said this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up and left. And through Govinda, he sent prasad for them to eat. So Govinda is the personal assistant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sends Jagannātha Mahaprasad to go to Govinda. In this way, Sanātana Gosvāmī stayed under the care of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who would see the wheel on the pinnacle of Jagannath temple and offer respectful obeisances. So you can see the Sudarshan Chakra, you can see on Jagannath Puri temple. So this, what's the speciality of this wheel? There is a Sudarshan Chakra, no? If it is said, if those who can't enter the temple, like the foreigners are not allowed to enter, they can just take the darshan of the chakra, and it's like Jagannatha's taken darshan. Or you pay obeisances to that chakra, it's like you paid obeisance to Jagannath. You offer something to the bhog to chakra, it's like the Lord accepted. But what is the specialty of the Sudarshan Chakra on top of the temple?
From any direction, we can see the face.
Same in all.
So it's from any direction you see, it looks like the chakra is
Every
facing.
side, if you see to look,
Yeah, so it just says, nah? And when we went to Jagannath Puri, in every direction, I was looking the chakra only. Really? It's like that. And then I could see it facing us. I don't know what it is. There's so many wonders and 7 wonders of Jagannath Puri. No flight or bird flight on top of it. And the flag, the specialty of flag, and so many things. The ocean waves, the sound doesn't enter the temple, and so many nice things about Puri. The prasad. Every day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go there to meet these 2 stalwart devotees and discuss topics of Krishna with them for some time. The offerings of prasadam in the temple of Lord Jagannath were of highest quality. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would bring this prasad and deliver it to the 2 devotees. Okay. One day, when the Lord came to meet them, he suddenly began speaking to Sanātana Gosvāmī. My dear Sanātana, he said, if I could attain Krishna by committing suicide, I would certainly give up billions of body without a moment's hesitation. See, Krishna is as Paramatma in everyone's heart. Krishna knew that Sanātana Gosvāmī had a desire because of the skin disease, he would commit suicide in front of the Radha. Krishna already knows this. So Krishna is indirectly saying, Sanātana, if by committing suicide, because he thinks in Jagannath Puri, in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after taking darshan of Jagannath, if I commit suicide, it's glorious. That's what he thinks. But then Mahaprabhu saying, you think after committing suicide, you'll get Krishna? Then I will give up millions of body so that I can get Krishna. But no, that's not the solution. You should know that one cannot attain Krishna simply by giving up this body. Krishna is attainable by devotional service. Bhaktya mama bijanati. It's only through bhakti or devotional service can you know Krishna. There's no other means for attaining him. Krishna didn't say karma or jnana. It's bhakti. Bhaktya mama bijanati, right? He says only through bhakti can you attain it. Acts such as suicide are influenced by the mode of ignorance. And in ignorance and passion, one cannot understand who Krishna is. Only when you reach Shuddha Sattvagun, Tattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabdidam, only when you reach Shuddha Sattvagun or slightly more than Sattvaguda, then can you start understanding Krishna. In ignorance and passion, you can't understand Krishna. And suicide is supposed to be in ignorance. Unless one discharges devotional service, one cannot awaken one's dormant love for Krishna. And there's no means for attaining him other than awakening that dormant love. Bhakti vina Krishna kabu nahe premodhaya, prema vina Krishna prapti anya hete naya. Prema vina Krishna prapti. You won't get Krishna prapti unless you awaken the dormant love. And how do you awaken that love? How do you awaken the dormant love for Krishna?
By devotional service.
Like
by chanting.
Chanting and?
Chanting Hare Krishna and reading Sri.
Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhika Banai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karaya Udhai. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhika Banai. Nitya Siddha, it's like eternal, the Krishna Prema. Sadhika Banai, you won't get it. Why? When will you get it? Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karaya Udhai. You have to hear Shravana about Krishna and Shuddha Chitta. You have to purify your heart. Then the dormant love for Krishna awakens. Yes, chanting and hearing the mantra. Just chanting, no. Not soft chanting, loud chanting, hearing the mantra. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna said, my dear Uddhava, neither through Ashtanga Yoga, the mystic yoga system for controlling senses, nor through impersonal monism or an analytic study of the absolute truth, nor through the study of Vedas, nor through austerities, charity, or acceptance and sannyas can one satisfy me as much as by developing unalloyed devotional service to me. So this is what Krishna said to Uddhava in the 11th canto. Na sadhyandi mam yogo na shankyam dharma uddhava na swadhyayas tapastyago yada bhaktir mamorjita. Yeah, 11th canto, 11, 14, 20. This is Uddhava Gita. So much Krishna speaks to Uddhava about devotional service. Measures like suicides are cause for sin. Okay, so suicides are a cause for sin. Why? A devotee never achieves shelter at lotus feet of Krishna by such action. Can someone raise your two hands? Why suicide is considered to be sin? Yes, these are level 1 questions. Yes, Sri Devi Mataji.
This body is Krishna, so we should not. This is not our property, Krishna's property.
So it's sinful.
And it is it is to be used for Krishna's service.
Yeah, and what happens after suicide? Sri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Mataji, if our age is 50 years and if we commit suicide up to 30, still we have to continue with all the sufferings in the subtle body for another 20 years. So that is actually a punishment for us in that ways.
Yes, and Lakshmi Mataji, what form of life you get after committing suicide?
Hare Krishna Mataji, we get the lower life, like cats, dogs, or something like that. We don't get the human life.
Yeah, because we misuse this rare human form of life, right? So yes, so suicide is the cause of sin. Yes, as Mad said, you won't get a material body, and for that 20 years or whatever time it is, you are supposed to, the subtle body will be loitering around. It's very painful situation. And because you misuse this rarely achieved human form of life, material nature will not give you a human form next. You'll degrade, you'll go to animal form or might be hellish planet or wherever it is, according to what the material nature decides. But then that's not the cause, that's not the end of any suffering, right? Suicide is not never a what are we trying to describe? This body, but what about the soul? No, so suicide is considered the sin because of feeling of. So this is not like Sanātana Gosvāmī want to commit suicide. He's a liberated soul. This is like Arjuna speaking to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita for us. Parikshit Maharaj in Shukadeva Goswami spoke Bhagavatam for us. Similarly, Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Sanatana Goswami speaking to us that all these instructions. It's not for Sanatana Goswami. He's Radhi Manjari. He doesn't have to have all these instructions. It's for us. Because of feeling of separation from Krishna, an exalted devotee sometimes wants to give up his life by such ecstatic love. However, one attains the audience of Krishna, and at that time he cannot give up his body. Okay, so he can't do that. It's said that when Radharani was in separation from Krishna, she tried to commit suicide, wanted to, and then she climbed on Govardhan. And then what happened? Govardhan became so small. Krishna can become bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest. Then she wanted to commit suicide, jumping on Yamuna. Yamuna dried up. So many other things happened that it's like they are from in separation. Feeling of separation from Krishna, goes and hugs the tamal tree and hits her head on tamal tree. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced the same symptoms. Blood was coming because of separation. But it said in that condition, they will get Krishna. So they can't give up their body. One who is deeply in love with Krishna cannot tolerate separation from the Lord. This is the Vipralamba Bhav, the highest of conjugal love. Therefore, such a devotee always desires his own death. O lotus-eyed one, great personality like Lord Shiva desired to bathe in the dust of a lotus feet to drive away ignorance. If I do not get the mercy of a lordship, I shall observe vows to reduce the duration of my life. And thus I shall give up bodies for hundreds of births. It is possible to get your mercy in that way. Oh dear Krishna, by your smiling glances and melodious talk, you have awakened the fire of lusty desire in our heart. Now you should extinguish that fire with a stream of nectar from your lips by kissing it. I think these are the prayers of gopis. Kindly do this. Otherwise, dear friend, the fire within our heart will burn our bodies to ashes because of separation from you. Thus, my meditation, we shall claim shelter at your lotus feet. Sanatana Goswami told, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Goswami, give up your nonsensical desire, for they are unfavorable for getting shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. Engage yourself in chanting and hearing. Then you will soon achieve the shelter of Krishna without doubt. So this is what we should do. Kubuddhi chadiyakara shravana kirtana achirate pabe tabe krishnera charana. Kara shravana kirtana. You should hear and chant the holy name, and soon you will attain Krishna. This is an instruction for us. We have to engage in chanting and hearing so that we can achieve Krishna's shelter without doubt. A person born in a low family is not unfit for discharging devotional service to Lord Krishna, nor is one fit for devotional service simply because he is born in an aristocratic family or of Brahmanas. See, you know the example of hippies, where they were born and then where they reached, right? So it's all doesn't matter. There's no qualification for pre-qualification required. Anybody can do it. There's no rules and regulations. Anyone who takes to devotional services exalted, whereas a non-devotee who always condemned and abominable. Therefore, in the discharge of devotional service to the Lord, there is no consideration of status of one's family. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is always favorable to the humble and meek, but aristocrats, learned scholars, and wealthy are always proud of their position. One may be born in a Brahmana family and have all 12 Brahmanical qualities. But if in spite of being thus qualified, he is not devoted to the lotus feet of Krishna, who has a navel shaped of lotus, he is as good as a Chandala, who has not as good as a Chandala, who have dedicated his mind, words, and activities, wealth, and life to the service of the Lord. Simply to take birth in a Brahmana family, to have Brahmanical qualities is not sufficient. One must be a pure devotee of the Lord. This is thus, if a Swapacha or a Chandala is a devotee, he delivers not only himself, but his entire family. This is what somebody asked me, no? This is what happens. If somebody, one person is a devotee, then the entire family get delivered. Whereas a Brahmana who's not a devotee, but simply have Brahmanical qualification, cannot even purify himself, what to speak to his family. The example is Prahlad. Now, when he asked Narasimhadev, will my father get delivered? What did he say? 21 generations are going to get delivered. Among the ways of executing devotional service, the 9 prescribed methods are the best. For these crosses have great potency to deliver Krishna and ecstatic love for him. Bhajane Ramadhya Shrestha Nava Vida Bhakti Krishna Prema Krishna Dite Dare Mahashakti. Of the 9 process of devotional service, the most important is to chant the holy name of the Lord. Taramadhya Sarvasreshta Nama Sankirtan. If one does so, avoiding the 10 offenses, one will easily obtain the most valuable love of Godhead. Niraparade Nama Layo Payo Premadan. That's a sloka, very nice sloka. Taramadhya Sarvasreshta Nama Sankirtan. Out of all the 9 devotional service, the most important is Nama Sankirtan, chanting the holy name. Niraparada Namalayo Paya Premadan. Niraparada, if you chant the holy name without offense, that is Nama Abhas. Not only Nama Abhas, in Shuddhanam stage, then Paya Premadana, you get Premadan or Krishna Prema. After hearing this, Sanātana Gosvāmī was exceedingly astonished. He could understand my decision to commit suicide has not been greatly appreciated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sanātana Gosvāmī concluded, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who knows everything, past, present, and future, has forbidden me to commit suicide. He then fell down, touching the lotus feet of the Lord, and spoke to him as follows: My Lord, you are the omniscient, merciful, independent, supreme Lord. Exactly like an instrument of wood, I dance as you make me do so. I'm low born. Indeed, I'm the lowest. I'm condemned, for I have all the characteristics of a sinful man. If you keep me alive, what will be the profit? He's like, what should I do after living? And Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, your body is my property, and you have already surrendered to me. Therefore, you no longer have any claim to your body. So a devotee's body is Krishna's property, right? It belongs to Krishna. Why should you want to destroy another's property? Can't you consider what is right and wrong? Your body is my principal instrument for executing many necessary functions. What was those functions? What is the functions Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said the Goswamis? What are the orders he gave them?
To excavate the deities in that this thing, Vrindavana, and to write books.
Yeah, to establish deity worship, to write books on Sanātana Dharma. Then, what about the pastime places?
Preaching.
Yeah, preaching, spreading Krishna consciousness, to excavate the lost pastime places in Vrindavan. Even that is one of the mission which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to the Goswamis. Okay, by your body, I shall carry out many tasks. You shall have to ascertain the basic principle of a devotee, devotional service, love of Godhead, Vaishnava duties, and Vaishnava characteristics. You will also have to explain Krishna's devotional service, establish centers for cultivation of love of Krishna, excavate lost places of pilgrimage, and teach people how to adopt the renounced order. So these are the different instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanātana Gosvāmī. Go to Vrindavan and excavate all these lost pastime places of pilgrimage. Because Radha Kund, Shyam Kund were all under cover. It was like a paddy field there. So the Goswamis had to rediscover it. Mathura Vrindavan is my own very dear abode. I want to do many things there to preach Krishna consciousness. By the order of my mother, I'm sitting here in Jagannātha Purī. Therefore, I cannot go to Mathura Vrindavan to teach people how to live there according to religious principle. I have to do all this work through your body. But you want to give it up? How can I tolerate this? At that time, Sanātana Gosvāmī said to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. No one can understand the deep ideas you plan within your heart. No, Krishna's ideas, nobody can understand. A wooden doll dance and chants and dance according to the direction of the magician, but does not know how he is dancing and singing. This is what even Srila Prabhupada wrote in the Jaladuta ship. Krishna, I am a puppet in your hand. Make me dance as you like. Nachao, nachao, Prabhu, nachao. No, make me dance. My dear Lord, as you cause one to dance, he dances accordingly. But how he dances and who is causing him to dance, he does not know. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said to Haridas Thakur, my dear Haridasa, please hear me. This gentleman wants to destroy another's property. That's about suicide. One who's entrusted with another's property does not distribute it or use it for his own purpose. Therefore, tell him not to do such an unlawful thing. Haridas Thakur replied, we are falsely proud of our capabilities. Actually, we cannot understand your deep intentions. Unless you inform us, we cannot understand what your purpose is or what you want to do through Purī. My dear sir, since you, a great person, as you have accepted Sanātana Gosvāmī, he is greatly fortunate. No one can be as fortunate as he is. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced both Haridas Thakur and Sanātana Gosvāmī and then got up and left to perform his known duties. My dear Sanātana, Haridas Thakur continued, said, embracing him, no one can find the limits of your good fortune. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have accepted your body as his own property. Therefore, no one can equal you in good fortune. So this is actually good fortune, not like getting a lottery or getting a nice job. And it's all material things. Mrityu sarva harasyaham. Death will take everything from us. What is important is whether Krishna is accepting you. No, that's what important. Ashish leva padaradam penashtamam adarshana mahatam karotuva yata tata va vitutadu lambado matprananadas eva napara. If Krishna accepts me or hugs me, or Krishna rejects me, still Krishna is my Lord, life after life. But then Krishna, we can't force Krishna to accept us. It's his sweet will. What Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cannot do with his personal body, he wants to do through you, and he wants to do it in Mathura. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did with Prabhupada also. Mahaprabhu could, this Krishna, he could have spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. But Prabhupada's like, he left that service to me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to spread Krishna consciousness through Prabhupada's body. That's why whatever the Supreme Personality Godhead wants us to do will successfully be accomplished. This is your great fortune, and that's my mature opinion. See, whatever Krishna wants us to do will be successfully accomplished. Why ISKCON was established? Because Krishna wanted it. Prithivitya cheya denagradagram sarvatra prachar hoya moranam. That's what Mahaprabhu said. Everywhere the holy name should be heard. And that's what happened. Krishna wanted it to happen, right? I can understand from the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he wants you to write books about the conclusive decisions of devotional service and about the regulative principles ascertained from revealed scriptures. My body could not be used in the service of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, although it took birth in the land of India, this body has been useless. Sanātana Gosvāmī replied, "O Haridas Thakur, who is equal to you? You are one of the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, you are the most fortunate." Now, both are glorifying each other. This is another quality of a devotee. The mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for which he have descended as an incarnation, is to spread the importance of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Now, instead of personally doing it, he is spreading it through you. My dear sir, you are chanting the holy name 3 lakh times daily, 192 rounds, and informing everyone of the importance of such chanting. Some behave very well, but do not preach the cult of Krishna consciousness, whereas others preach but do not behave properly. अपने आचार्य के हे न करे प्रचारा प्रचारे करण के हे न करे न आचरा. So some they preach but they don't practice. Some practice but they don't preach. But you see hardly few people like Srila Prabhupada who practiced what they preached. That's very important. You simultaneously, so this is how Sanātana Gosvāmī is speaking about Haridas Thakur. You simultaneously perform both duties in relation to the holy name by your personal behavior and your preaching. Therefore, you are the spiritual master of the entire world. For you are the most advanced devotee in the world. We saw in the last chapter how the prostitute and Maya Devi personally came, tried to disturb Haridas Thakur, but Haridas Thakur was like, "No, I have my vow of chants 3 lakh name." No, so he preached and he practiced what he did. In this way, the two of them passed their time discussing subjects concerning Krishna. Then they enjoyed life together. During the time of Rath Yatra, all the devotees arrived from Bengal to visit the car festival as they had done previously. During the Rath Yatra festival, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again danced before the car of Jagannātha. When Sanātana Gosvāmī saw this, his mind was astonished. The Lord's devotees from Bengal stayed at Jagannātha Purī during the 4 months of the rainy season, that is the Chaturmasya, and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced Sanātana Gosvāmī to them all. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced Sanātana Gosvāmī to these and other selected devotees: Advaitacharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Srivas Thakur, Vakreshwara Pandit, Vasudeva Datta, Murari Gupta, Raghav Pandit, Damodara Pandit, Paramananda Puri, Brahmananda Bharati, Swarup Damodar, Gadadhar Pandit, Sarva Bhattacharya, Ramananda Rai, Jagadananda Pandit, Shankara Pandit, Kashishwara, and Govinda. We'll stop here. We'll continue from tomorrow. Hare Krishna. I always have a class at 7, so I have to finish it and then come here. So that's why I'm in late. And Namanishta Prabhu is busy with some other class. So anyway, we'll finish it soon. Antya Lila is not so much. I think we have just, we are in chapter 4 now. We have 20 chapters. So we'll finish it fast. Okay, Hare Krishna. All of you have got your CC books ordered. So please order your CC books fast. Chaitanya Charitamrita books are available. It's called Mangalore. Yes, Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I'm having a problem in my house, like because I'm just facing, I want to eat like vegetarian. My family doesn't like me eating vegetarian all the time. There's always a conflict between veg and non-veg. So how do I handle this problem? Mataji? Because it's very, it gets in the way, it becomes an obstacle. So I want to eat the sattvic food and everything, but I can't do that. How do I do that?
Yeah, just try to convince them that you're not happy eating non-veg, and then say that you have some health issues because of that. Because see, when you take non-veg, what happens? You feel lazy and sleepy and then you're not active and fresh. So try to make them understand that you're not happy and your body is not it's rejecting the non-vegetarian food, or you're not able to take it and you're happy with eating sattvic. Or might be if you know cooking, you can also go into the kitchen and make some small sattvic things or salads or something like that, and then try to tell them openly that, see, I'm not able to take it, so please don't compel me. If you compel me, I might have vomiting or indigestion and loose motions and all. So that might happen, no? Because you stop sometime and then again you take, the body might reject. And you're chanting the holy name, definitely the sattvic lifestyle is good. But yes, in the family, there is issues. When I had faced the same thing, they think that you won't have immunity, or you won't feel, you are not healthy without taking that. That's what they feel. But no, that's wrong. Right? But they won't understand now. But and one other thing is, however, when you offer, always offer a fruit or flower, water or some dry fruits to Krishna, and mix with their food, or give them prasad daily. Slowly their consciousness keep changing. Okay, so that will help. And pray to Krishna. Krishna will definitely help. How long the CC books are available? Sridevi Mataji, it's available for another month or so. So please order it fast. T.LV CC books for English. Then in all the languages it's available. Please order it fast. Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripasindhave cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. And Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
I got my books, Mataji.
Oh,
Hari
Hari
Krishna,
Bol.
I got the whole parcel. Very nice. I started